Consider for just a moment the entire universe. Billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars stretching out in all directions. Many of us assume it formed from raw randomness and cosmic happenstance, but is that really the whole story? Imagine if everything we see, from the faintest starlight to the intricate code in our cells, has been calibrated with stunning precision. The biggest astrophysicists, Nobel laureates included, sometimes stand in awe, wondering if there's more to nature than chance collisions and blind forces. We look at the night sky, dazzled by a brilliance that may not be accidental. In this video, we're ripping open the fabric of our assumptions. We're asking a question once relegated to philosophy but increasingly whispered about by top scientists. What if the universe is not just a cosmic lottery winner, but instead exhibits signs of design so exact that it borders on the miraculous? We'll examine the mysterious constants, the Earth's too perfect conditions, the baffling puzzle of mathematics itself, and even the coded language hidden in our DNA. All of these pieces might be pointing to a hidden logic behind it all. If that sparks your curiosity, stay locked in, because by the end, you might just be questioning everything you thought you knew about reality. Modern science often frames our cosmic origin in terms of necessity and chance. Imagine the chaotic aftermath of the Big Bang, swirling energy condensing into the simplest building blocks and eventually coalescing into stars, planets, and life, all via physical laws stacked upon random events. For centuries, this explanation more or less sufficed. After all, it's straightforward. The laws of physics dictate certain outcomes, and random processes handle the rest. Stars fuse hydrogen, heavier elements scatter through supernovas, and then, somehow, biology ignites. Many believed that given enough time, complexity would arise naturally, but deeper questions soon began to plague the minds of physicists. Could it be that the seemingly haphazard swirl of cosmic dust follows rules so precise that randomness barely scratches the surface? And at a subatomic level, certain constants were measured that left everyone stunned, almost as though someone had set the dials of the universe to ensure it wouldn't collapse upon itself or remain eternally inert. It's disconcerting because if just one of these values were off by a fraction, there'd be no stars to illuminate our skies, no planets to host life, and certainly no curious beings like us to reflect on it all. Here we stand, not just the byproducts of cosmic dice rolls, but possibly the intended result of something far more deliberate. The term fine-tuning sounds almost too simple to convey the enormity of what it implies. Consider gravity. If it were marginally weaker, stars could never coalesce, remaining scattered lumps of matter that never ignite. If it were slightly stronger, stellar collapse would be inevitable, with everything smashing into black holes long before life came into view. Then consider the electromagnetic force. Tweak it just a hair, and you either get no stable atoms or you get a locked-up universe where atomic variety is impossible. You can extend this logic to other physical constants. The strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, the masses of subatomic particles, all of them are balanced on a cosmic knife edge. These numbers aren't philosophical musings, they're the product of rigorous measurements and robust theories. Yet the question remains, why do these values fit so perfectly into the narrow channels that allow stars, chemistry, and life? Imagine aiming a dart at a distant target the size of a single atom. That's how astronomically improbable it is for all these constants to converge in just the right way, and here we are, living in the bullseye. It's enough to make even hardline skeptics pause. Is the universe just unbelievably lucky, or is there a deeper blueprint behind it all? Looking closer to home, we see Earth, a planet that sits in the elusive Goldilocks zone, not too hot, not too cold, perfect for liquid water. Its atmosphere is not too thick, not too thin, shielding us from cosmic radiation while retaining crucial gases. A strong magnetic field deflects harmful solar winds, and our relatively large moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, preserving seasons vital to diverse ecosystems. Even our position in the Milky Way is special, far from the chaotic galactic core, but not so remote that essential elements are scarce. Stack these conditions together, and Earth starts to look less like a run-of-the-mill planet and more like an extraordinarily rare oasis. Many astronomers thought surely with so many stars there must be countless planets just like ours, yet, as we discover more exoplanets, we see that even the simplest requirement, liquid water, might be far less common than once hoped. Couple that with the myriad fine-tuned details that allow life to flourish, and Earth's status becomes all the more striking. Maybe we're not as ordinary as once imagined. It's both humbling and haunting, evoking a sense of purposeful design or, at the very least, almost unbelievable fortune. Could chance alone have engineered a cradle so precisely attuned to our survival? Physicists often marvel at the unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. Equations devised in human brains somehow describe complex phenomena from electromagnetism to quantum mechanics with eerie precision. Why should our abstract constructs, symbols on paper, latch so elegantly onto the fabric of reality? It confounds philosophers and scientists alike. Is it mere coincidence that neat formulas predict everything from planetary orbits to the signals in our smartphones? Or does it hint at an underlying rational structure to the cosmos? Imagine we live in a world built on logical scaffolding, where math isn't just a tool, but a fundamental aspect of how reality is knit together. This puzzle extends deep into nature's code. At the microscopic level, we find DNA, which essentially functions like digital information. If mathematics underlies the stars above and the cells within, what does that suggest? And how did mathematics weave itself into the very structure of life's blueprint? This isn't a puzzle that can be easily dismissed as random alignment. Each consistent discovery of mathematical order leaves us marveling at a universe that seems not only comprehensible, but almost intentionally comprehensible. If the idea of an undeniably tuned universe makes you uneasy, don't worry. There's a popular alternative: the multiverse. According to this hypothesis, ours isn't the only cosmic game in town. Somewhere out beyond our observational reach, there exist universes with different versions of physics. Perhaps gravity is weaker in one, or maybe no atoms can form in another because electromagnetism is skewed. The thought is that if an infinite number of universes exist, then one like ours, brimming with life, is inevitable. It's an elegant workaround, yet remains fiercely debated because it's hard to test, if not impossible, and it raises philosophical questions. Are we merely lucky winners in an endless lottery of universes? Or does the sheer improbability remain even when you can roll the dice infinite times? Proponents argue it solves the riddle of fine-tuning. Our cosmos is just one of many. Critics retort that it might be metaphysics masquerading as physics, offering a grand stage with no direct proof. Either way, it shows how deeply unsettling scientists find the notion of a single, meticulously calibrated reality. Another approach is the anthropic principle, which essentially says, we see the universe as it is because if it were any different, we wouldn't be around to notice. It's an almost tautological statement, yet it's surprisingly insightful and controversial. The weak anthropic principle suggests that the very fact that we're alive constrains the properties of the universe we observe. More muscular versions propose that the universe must be structured to eventually allow life, tiptoeing closer to the idea of purposeful blueprint. Critics say it doesn't really explain anything, it's an observational bias. If we woke up in a universe that was uninhabitable, we wouldn't be here to lament that. Supporters, however, see it as a reminder that any talk of design or improbability must factor in the undeniable observer perspective. In simpler terms, of course, we find conditions perfect for complexity. Otherwise, we wouldn't be around talking about it. But does shrugging our shoulders at life's existence truly solve the puzzle, or does it just restate the wonder of it all? Eventually, we reach a crossroads. Science, philosophy, and even spirituality converge around the central riddle. Why does our reality look like it was finely orchestrated to allow complexity, consciousness, and the very capacity for self-reflection? Scientists, who might otherwise be reluctant to delve into metaphysical territory, find themselves grappling with the deeper implications of their data. Philosophers, who have mulled over design arguments for centuries, see the new scientific discoveries as a robust extension of their debates. Religious thinkers find potential resonances with ancient ideas about a purposeful creation. Surprisingly, many individuals from these distinct disciplines find themselves speaking a shared language of awe. The more we dissect the cosmic machinery, the more it reveals a sublime coherence. Though not everyone interprets it as design in the classical sense, there is a growing recognition that our universe is far from a trivial phenomenon. We are confronted with patterns so precise they border on reverence. Whether that reverence is directed toward a supreme being, an undiscovered law, or a cosmic principle remains up for personal interpretation. But when practitioners from multiple fields see the same luminous tapestry, it becomes increasingly difficult to wave off these inquiries as mere curiosities. Discussions about design used to be almost taboo in certain scientific circles, like you'd somehow stepped outside the bounds of real science. But the fine-tuning issue, Earth's improbable habitability, and the uncanny harmony of mathematics have eroded those boundaries. Suddenly, people realize that asking, could it be designed, is no more radical than asking about quantum entanglement or the possibility of hidden dimensions. Both are big questions, deeply challenging and essential for a fuller understanding of reality. Taboo or not, the conversation is out of the shadows. You'll hear a Nobel Prize-winning physicist candidly admit he loses sleep over the question of why these constants appear so perfectly set. Astronomers glance at exoplanet data and wonder if life's conditions are incredibly rare, almost as though contrived. Biologists marvel at the coded complexity of DNA, pondering how something so information-rich arose through mere chance. While the establishment may hesitate to label it design, elements of that notion creep closer to the mainstream. Maybe the real taboo is clinging too tightly to the idea that everything is purely accidental, a comfortable assumption that the evidence now undermines in ways we can no longer ignore. Now, when we flirt with the word design, it often brings up images of religious doctrines or ancient creation myths, but in modern discourse, it can be more nuanced. Design can simply mean there's an underlying framework that goes beyond random and compulsory forces, something coded into reality that yields structure, life, and ultimately mind. It doesn't necessarily refute evolution or the entire scientific methodology. It could enrich them by asking why the parameters enabling evolution exist. Our universe might be spawned by deeper laws still unknown, or by a purposeful intelligence. Either way, it's a question that beckons us to look beyond the how and ask the why. Such musings transcend atheist versus theist lines. Even well-known agnostics and secular scientists sometimes use the language of design metaphorically, because the evidence points to an uncanny order that seems too consistent to dismiss. At the same time, you don't need to embrace theistic beliefs to sense a profound intention woven into the cosmos. Whether it's a cosmic intelligence, an undiscovered principle, or the emergent property of an infinitely creative reality, the notion of design can be viewed as a plausible interpretation of fine-tuning, and that's precisely why it's important. Ignoring it might mean missing out on a deeper dialogue with the universe itself. So here we are, faced with a cascade of data that points at the very least to something extraordinary at play. We have fine-tuned constants, a planet lavishly equipped for life, a universe spelled out in mathematics, and a coded blueprint in our cells. We have the multiverse idea, the anthropic principle, and the bold notion that it all might be deliberately arranged. Whichever perspective resonates with you, it's hard to walk away from these facts unmoved. The evidence demands engagement. Are these uncanny alignments simply cosmic accidents, or are they cosmic breadcrumbs leading to something grander? Let's open the conversation. Do you think we're seeing the signature of design in the tapestry of existence, or is it something else entirely, like an endless roll of cosmic dice? Share your thoughts below, because this question is far too big to settle without a global exchange of ideas. If you found value in this discussion, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and keep exploring the endless mysteries that surround us. Because if there's any lesson here, it's that the universe might be speaking, and it's waiting for us to listen.